as well, right?
In week 2, they said, nope, we're not bothering. That was the thing. They come back here in week number 3 instead. And I respect it. Atlas, they decided to focus their efforts on more community-based things in week number 2. Many had already the master slot pegged as Bren +1. And I was like, okay, we tried to beat against Bren in week number 1. Couldn't make it happen. So we'll be back for week number 3. And they are our first quarterfinalists. But in the meantime, their opponent, the First Order, they are back for vengeance. They are back yet again to try and impose. And we talked about it last week, Asteroid, wherein they had so many problems to make it to the playoffs because of the open qualifiers, but then they finally found their growth spurt. They finally found that sprint to make it in, and they had a decent showing against Oasis Gaming, but they did lose into the quarterfinals this time. It's gonna be an even tougher battle against SE Atlas.
Yeah, one of the things that I think was kind of the difficult thing for SE Atlas, because again, people already know that I'm a big fan of this particular team, and I am at least maybe 90% sure that they're the team that should be able to get into, you know, the second master slot. But again, that is of course just my opinion. Any case though, just to point it out, Yoshi and Tim were not on their, let's say, main roles when they were playing during week 1 and week 2, but we're seeing Yoshi back on the Sova and Tim back on the battle stage, and this is something to open eyes up, and especially TFO, got to be careful.
Exactly, as we saw in the head-to-head a while ago, it was like, why was Yoshi on Breach? Because he showed something a little different in week number 1, but SE Atlas, they say comfort is the way to go, and we all know how clutch these Sovas can be on both sides. Looking at the comps though, it seems like it's going to be Raze versus Jet, single duelist. For these two teams, everything else is just similar between Atlas and the First Order. It's going to be interesting though. Icebox is pretty much a map that the First Order have studied extensively, and I've talked to their coach, I've talked to the players, they really feel like they're so comfortable in a map like this. I like the map draft so far for the First Order, but I like what I'm seeing from SE Atlas as well. But we are going to be getting into our first map. It's Atlas defending first and foremost.
The mentality about going for that single duelist just so that you have more utility as you go around the map. I think it makes a lot more sense, because if you go for the double duelist, that's great. You can aggressively try to take the sites, but because there's such long avenues both on going A and B, I think just having a Sova with a drone is more efficient, and you have more utilities to use to try to get that site, and one duelist is already enough to try to quote-unquote entry frag the entire site or retake the site. So that's why we're seeing at least the variation of having one Jet and having that one Raze.
Yeah, big sight lines to just be able to see from across the map and more. Thing is though, I'm loving the new overlay that we're seeing right now. Atlas though going to be on the defending side, TFO on the attacking side. And the thing is, something that has been debated by many people in different regions is how many controllers do you actually play on a map like this. The answer for SE Atlas as well as TFO is 1. The Omen still going to be a standard. The Sova though very, very potent at getting that information. A bit of a technical pause. These guys just making sure everything is optimal. But here we go. Pistol round is about. And Atlas looking to attack on B side.
Dre does have a Sheriff already in hand. Very, very risky, because if he can't hit his shots, he's going to get overwhelmed by the more faster pace shooting of the Ghost as well as the Classic. Bride does spot a couple already, and there is the Cloud Burst just to kind of situate that we're going to be pushing for that B. But is TFO really going to take this site out? They still do have the spike already here. Coco is setting up with the wall, but they still have not yet planted down that spike. They're very careful here, Dax. They don't want to put themselves in a position where they're going to get flanked or just be bombarded by the utility, which immediately you see Coco disengage as he saw the just the nade and the arrows just fall up, and Zerb finding out Dre.
Yeah, these guys, they know how to play the defaults. Both sides playing the Sage. So they also know what to throw that utility if need be. But TFO planting that one down. Tim now trying to go for defuse ball versus ball action. And it seems like we're just building up a little bit of that defensive. But TFO now with the advantage. But as I say that, Yoshi and Bri get on the board. Tricks in the meantime finding Bri. And Yoshi is there again. No mastered for anyone. This guy is truly the star of the show here for the Atlas Squadron. We'll see what he can do. Tricks gonna be looking for the shot. Misses as Yoshi decides to try and go for the fake instead. But a push over to yellow might be the call. The Sova giving chase. Time is running out. Yoshi will get that shot, but the wall is in the way, and that should be it. So unfortunate for Atlas. They got the kills, but they couldn't get that spike down.
Yoshi playing very, very conservative, I think is the best word to kind of describe the way that he was just moving around that 1 versus 1. He really thought that Trix was going to just charge right in and challenge him before he got the spike to half in terms of the defuse, and that really kind of messed him up because he had to either chase or just, you know, try to go for that defuse. Maybe the wall was too much and it didn't really help him in the end, but definitely still was a really, really good play coming out from Trix, netting TFO their first round victory. Now, here we go. What's going to be happening here? It seems like it's going to be a full save round for the side of Atlas as they do take a breather and allow TFO to just buy up into the SMGs, maybe make it to an expensive round. But you are seeing this. Lots more teams on the attacking side here in Icebox using that Sova drone to clear out the B long. They don't want to check out those cubby corners because it's just really painful. You know, you don't want to deal with it. And it seems like they're going to be able to get control of yellow and start working their way on the B side.
You know, Astor, I gotta tell you something. Face checking is just so dangerous. So you got the drone to say, oh, hello, you're here. And it makes it even easier with that intel. So here we go again. TFO says, wall is up. Spike is down. Kakarot, though, does get on the board, I believe. But Brian, in the meantime, playing by the Snowman. No Snowman allowed. But it seems like SE Atlas, they don't care. They're throwing the paint shells. But Courtesy will use that Spectre to get that takedown. Marky also investing early onto the Vandal. A few risks here and there for TFO. We'll see if it's panning out. Yes, it does. Headshot connects onto Dre.
That's going to be very difficult to actually try to challenge this as Marky is playing turret in the back of yellow. It seems like it was going to be a very difficult retake there for Atlas, as even though they did pick up a Spectre, in the end, it was the range advantage that I think a Vandal just gives. They maybe could have gone for B-Long. That might have been it, but it's a tight corridor. It's either the one or the other, and it seems like neither was the best option for Atlas there. Slightly an expensive round for TFO, but in the end, they secured that second one. And what is going to be the trial here for Atlas? It should be a bonus round, but Trix and Marky are up with the Vandals, so this is going to be a hard-fought third round for the Atlas team.
And something to take note also, Yoshi is on a Guardian only. It's because he survived that first round, I believe. So a little bit of that penalty hurting him in the long run. Even though he got those kills, goes to show that in this game, sometimes you just gotta love that spike, hug that spike. Marky, though, hugging the shock dart. And A-Site is the way to go here for TFO. Alarm bot, though, gonna be in the way. Atlas fortifying and just really bombarding TFO as they try to siege on in.
Siege on in. Yoshi has to make something work with this Guardian. We don't really see the Guardian being used except for maybe Brent's Jesse Vash, and this is why people just get to overwhelm you, because if you can't hit your shots, it's going to be such an easy punish coming in from them. Bri will be coming out here, uses his satchel charge to kind of flush out that corner, and Marky will be jumping up into the site. If it jumps though, it's going to be just the perfect domination. Kakarot's going to be here as the last bastion of hope for the Atlas team, but what can he do? He's going to jump up into the ropes here. Will he be able to find a one onto Belt, or is it just going to be the save for him? Spots out the other. Zerv just quick on that trigger and say goodnight, Sweet Prince. Kakarot does not clutch it out, and it seems like TFO are starting to get the first order of, well, getting this round.
Yeah, they have the first order of things. And will you sing me a lullaby later on tonight, Mr. Asarai? Because this has been a sweet symphony from TFO. Goes to show that map draft-wise, things are looking really, really good for them. And I do like the fact that they got their Icebox out to showcase themselves against a juggernaut like Atlas. Say what you will about Atlas not being in the playoffs last week. They have really been a top team for a good reason. This team in the community have been incredible in their debut. They really show up in the biggest and the brightest of all the local scene. So we'll see right now if Atlas can keep that one up, keep that reputation up against TFO. But TFO, they're still at it. First kill already goes in their favor. Marky finds Bribe, but Yoshi now with the refrag there. Snowman is the way to go for the Sova. Smoke is out though. Here comes the wall yet again. TFO looking to play that default time and time again.
Seems like Yoshi is such a clutch god for Atlas, but because of how I think TFO are just kind of situating these forced angles upon Yoshi, he can't really do much with the Sova. Yes, maybe he can hit the shots here and there, but the refrag is so quick from TFO that it's not really possible for any one of them to try to go for the clutch. So they have to challenge quickly enough. But TFO, the name of the game for them is just be able to overwhelm the site. Yes, it's not as fast as other teams, but it's kind of presence heavy enough that Atlas cannot answer, and they have been forced to go for these weaker buys for the past couple of rounds now. Kakarot left to his own devices here. We'll be trying to just chime in. Oh. He does get a nice little headshot onto Coco, maybe make it a little bit more expensive onto Zerv, but it's only going to be Zerv trying to buy up into another shield. But for the most part, TFO, once again, pretty nigh unstoppable in this first map.
Yeah, TFO is just in control. Gotta give it Kakarot, though. 5 kills for the Killjoy. Good to see him on his namesake from his previous experience in tactical shooters. But besides that, it has been all TFO all throughout this map. Coco, he just says, Okay, here's a wall. Here's a wall. Now put that spike right beside it. It's like some great interior design here done by TFO. And not only that, they're ahead in the ult economy. 4 ultimates available for them. They have that lockdown. They have that from the shadows, Rez, and even the Blade Storm. A bit of aggression though from Atlas. They're trying to go it up with the slow and the paint shells. But Dre, he's just hiding the troop and says, no way, Marky, you're not coming in here.
So the quick switch of Kakarot, or sorry, the Killjoy of Atlas to go to the B, allowing for 4 more members of Atlas just to kind of position themselves nearer this A site, seems to have slowed the ability of TFO to just rush right in. Though, Tim has already used both of his slows here, so it's going to mean that if TFO gets an entry frag into the A site, they will be rushing right in. It's going to be very tricky here, but Tim has to hold true. Zerv and teammate, though, will be holding the site here, but Serve! Alright, he just serves it up in front of TFO.
Cook, serve, delicious. And really, those one-ways are the way to go. Sometimes it's good to at least redirect traffic, and in this case, redirect those bullets on the other side. Atlas trying to really bank on the Sage and Raze combination there on A site. They're trying to play the slows. They're trying to use the explosives as much as possible. But TFO making some space for them. Here we go, Marky getting resurrected. Maybe just to die. Yoshi, though, catching that courtesy instead. And he gets the 2K there. Yoshi yet again finding the one up on, and now Atlas with the advantage.
Yoshi just makes magic with the Hunter's Fury, and that leaves TFO with very little options to try to make something work right now. Coco's going to be setting up the wall here, splitting the site a little bit apart, and is somebody just going to try to rush through the smoke here as he does get the spike planted down, and Trix holding his hand, but Bry comes in on top of the wall and basically says, I got one, I get the other, I get this defuse, or maybe give it to his teammate. No, all of them have their ult, so it's fine, but that is going to be the first round taken by Atlas.
Give it to the Raze and give it to Atlas. Yoshi, though, perfect timing on that Hunter's Fury. You can really see he had an idea of where Marky died. Easy kill through the walls and more. You can't wall that and more. Thing is, though, Tim's struggling right now, but can really see here for SE Atlas, they still depend on that Sage for the heals, for the slows, if need be. TFO, though, a lot of money in the bank. They won 4 rounds in a row, Asterai. You're gonna have a great retirement fund later on. Rifles, though, are bound, and TFO says, let's try A again.
They should try to go for their combo maybe with the slow orb and the nade, but they're gonna save their utilities. I like this because I feel like TFO for the past, let's say 5 rounds, have really forced Atlas to just say, hey Atlas, we're gonna show our presence on one side. Use all of your utilities, and basically that's it. Now, TFO does immediately use the lockdown that will possibly force the members of Atlas here to respect as the A side is getting flushed out, and slowly but surely, TFO gets that control. Spike will get planted down. We'll just take a little bit of chip damage for their Sova, but in the end, it's going to be the postman. Very difficult though, but Atlas, if you can see it, Dax, 3 ultimates and counting.
This is gonna be scary, and that showstopper might be the star of the show. Gotta give it to TFO though. They had the angle, they have an open plant. Kakarot though, and Bry on the board. TFO cannot get the kills, and here comes the Raze. Look, the Raze some hell. Hunter's Fury gonna get avoided by that blast back, but that hang time will eventually lead to his demise, and Courtesy on the board. Kakarot though, catching out Marky. Here comes Courtesy now with 3. He's going for the push, but they have run out of people, and Atlas will win out in that slaughter.
Bry is showing to us that, again, Atlas feels like a very slow, methodical team, especially on their defending side. That's why I like them, because I feel like Atlas is probably one of the strongest defending teams out there, but it seems with Bry, their dynamic changes a little bit. He's not the highest in terms of the kills, but his presence as a Raze and his aggression, his willingness to challenge these angles is allowing Atlas to kind of just, how do you say this, follow up right behind him, and then they just win these retakes. I mean, again, TFO still have like 2-round advantage, but we're seeing Atlas kind of formulate what they have to do in order to retake the sites. Though, just to finish it off, TFO has almost always gotten all of these sites. They gotta be careful.
Zerv actually catching out Bry there. Wall does come on up. Thing is though, Tim might struggle to get this resurrection, and now it's gonna get broken on down. Now we've seen for TFO, they have gotten more success on B side rather than A, because Bry has been really such a good defender on that side. But in this case now, Tim getting on the board finally to give Atlas a little bit of breathing room. Maybe a second kill can help him, and he goes for the rest to give him the advantage. It's all about the waiting game right now, Asterai. But on the A side we go instead. The Killjoy though is waiting there, and Kakarot has set up his traps.
I wonder if the The Jet here is going to try to make something happen. Kakarot spotted out. Oh no, he's going to get flushed out here. They know he's in the back of the side. Paranoia excused just to kind of maybe just make Kakarot a little bit honest. But Zerv is waiting. Kakarot is hungry. And maybe, just maybe, he can hear it. Maybe he can also get that wall bang. And he's not going to be able to get that one. Although, again, the one-way smoke just way too good. Yoshi able to find out Serve. And it's the last man stunning. Marky to the left of his own devices. Does spot out the one. Will be able to dash right in. Knows that someone's right behind him. He has to challenge this. And through the smoke, through the cloudburst, Dre reigns supreme. And that is Atlas showing their fangs, showing that, again, they have that iron wall defense.
You know, this is why medicine is important. They've tried to cure a lot of diseases and infections, and apparently here in Valorant, we can cure death itself. You know, the Omen brought back to life, and Dre getting that final kill. TFO trying to play their strategies, trying to play those plans. But Atlas has been learning time and time again, and now it is Atlas on a warpath with a 3-round streak. Goes to show, though, those resurrections gonna be very, very important for a game like this. The Sage difference isn't really all about getting those kills, but how many resurrections you can get per game, and bringing people back to life is just such a big, big component of this matchup, especially with a numbers advantage that you would like to take.
That was a nice little recon dart there from Yoshi. Going to be able to spot out Marky. Now they have a little bit of understanding that it might be, again, the B side. But there is a lot more firepower to come out from Atlas here. And Atlas is just letting them come in. What this does is TFO have to expend a couple, or actually a lot of their utilities just to get that spike planted down, which I think is okay for Atlas because now they're realizing retakes is what we're good at. Let's just go for it and maybe go for the flanks here. They're gonna choke the members of TFO just to be situated here onto the side as well as yellow. So Atlas, all they have to do is slowly push in, use their recon utilities, and maybe, just maybe, this is what they're gonna be able to do to get that round win.
Oh, Paranoid though gonna be coming in to play. Kakarot still gets the kill on the Marky. And you gotta give it to Atlas. They've been getting that intel and more to smoke out TFO. But here comes the Hunter's Fury from Courtesy. Zerv now gonna go down to the hand of the Killjoy. Tim trying to push on in, and the rifle is about no more ammo though into that chamber. Tim eventually with the kill. Kakarot given space to defuse that spike, and Atlas right now, they are just being retake kings here, Azarai.
TFO, you know what it seems very situated what they wanted to do there. They wanted to charge into the B site, they wanted to get the spike planted down, and they want to be able to aggressively push during their post plant, but they cannot find anybody. Marky was charging at the B site, maybe looking at jungle bars, monkey bars, sorry, just to kind of maybe spot a rotator, but everybody was just, you know, already there, and it seems like TFO, because they wanted to get better positioning, actually put themselves into a position where crossfires were not really going to be the name of the game for TFO, and Atlas was just fine with that.
I was just happy to see Tim chase after Courtesy there. It's like, I don't care about your Hunter's Fury, man. You have a delay, I have a gun, you have a bow and arrow. This is why guns replace bow and arrows in history. That's a little bit of a history lesson for you guys, but TFO. I'm glad I taught you something today, Mr. Azarai. But Drinks has the back on the way. The spider bot that is the alarm bot giving chase. TFO right now, they're trying to figure out where they can really go, but what I'm seeing here is they're going for orb control, looking for a pick, and playing a bit of that econ so far.
Utilizing the Killjoy is definitely allowing a lot of flexibility for Atlas just to kind of, yeah, if you go A, we'll be able to get a lot more mid-control, make sure that nobody is going to be pushing onto orange and flanking an orange, and just, you know, push right through. Now, Marky has the Blade Storm. He's charging very, very carefully here on Kitchen. Maybe he's going to cook something up, and he hears the blades. Dre is right there, right in front of him, but he is missing. Third blade will finally connect, and they maybe have found the formula to break through, but Tim comes out. Peekaboo, I see you. Denies the plan, but there's still time for Courtesy to make it work out, and here comes the post plan. Atlas have to go for that retake, but I do like this delayed push coming in from TFO. It made Atlas second guess themselves, and it seems like it might be a TFO round win here.
Yeah, 2 versus 1. It's all up to Kakarot now, and the Blade Storm is still out here for Marky. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight, but these knives are floating on the round. And Zerv, can he serve up another bullet to the face? We shall see. Dark cover gonna be in the way so far. Marky right now, Spectre in hand. Time is ticking, and Kakarot comes close. He's looking for that second kill, but he doesn't know where the Omen is yet. Might be time to go for the right click, but no, Zerv. Phantom in hand, perfect for CQC. TFO getting one more round on the board. Seems like they were able to steal that away from Atlas.
That was just very risky. Right click's not really the best right now. Some people might say still nerf the right click for the classic, but you do see sometimes the nerf kind of surface his head a little bit and show that this does not work sometimes.
You know what surface? The Sage. I got jump scared. I think that's in the Halloween special now of Valorant. Sage just comes in and peeks you just like that. So close. You're trying to put that spike down. It's like, I'm being very careful with something that detonates and then someone shoots you in the face. Oh, okay. We go again. But hey, TFO taking that round. I believe we are in a bit of a pause right now as yeah, it's one of these two teams trying to figure out what is going to be the issue. But from what I've seen so far from TFO, they know how to play it also patiently. They don't need to rush in. They're finding a few of those picks. They're getting good positioning. And one thing I've really noticed also in that last round is TFO has been getting a lot more orb value compared to Atlas, and that gives them that ult advantage in the long run.
Very true. Lots of teams sometimes don't really value just being able to get that orb. Guys, it's not the other games where you can't get orbs to get your ultimate. Sometimes it's actually pretty good. And TFO, like you said, is noticing that fact, able to utilize and get a lot more. And Dax, damn, they actually have 3 ultimates now. Lockdown, Resurrect, and From the Shadows. This allows them for a lot of taking of side potential, as well as rotation, and just overall safety. Now, it might seem that TFO will try to go for a fake here, but with the wall being situated as well as the lockdown, it seems like B is the place to go.
Now B is going to be where it's at. Yoshi, though, trying to go for the hit onto the lockdown, and Hunter Fury will get connection. Spike, though, is by A side, so a bit of a fake here from TFO. Marky trying to push on in, and there we go with scan onto the Raze. Easy shot for Marky. Probably going to go on down. Trick's also on the board, but here comes the recon, and Marky going to get spotted at last moment. Has to decide to dash on the way into the Cloudburst. He will go. But here for TFO, they got that spike down, and they have the 2-man advantage.
Great plan coming out from the first order. Definitely is the name of the game. Rotation, the fakes, the debates. It's all there coming in from them. Trix is just going to be lurking in mid just to make sure he doesn't need to be with the rest of his team because there's 4 people already that's going to try to play for that post plan. It's too much if you go for 5.
Oh, shock dart.
Shock dart. But still, whoa, whoa. They can actually still go for the defuse if they wanted to. It's halved already. Somebody has to defend. Yoshi has it the moment. Kakarot is onto the side, but the jump out from Marky with the classic denies him the satisfaction of trying to go for the defuse. And Dre has to go come in clutch. It's not going to work out. Trix does explode with the spike, but in the end, the first order get that round win.
Oh my god. Everyone getting baited by that shock dart. We saw Yoshi get baited, we got baited, and it didn't really do that much damage. And you were right, you could actually just stick that spike till the sun don't shine and get that defuse. But sometimes when you know your opponent knows what to do, and then they don't actually execute it the way you expected, and you're like, what do we do now? I like the angle though from Kakarot. It was really smart for him to stay on the west flank of the smoke. 2 people from TFO actually went on in to try and contest that spike. But in the end, time was on TFO's side, and now they're up by 2 again. Seems like it's all about strings right now. Marky though, Marky contesting the Omen, but Kakarot's there to help on that. Dre gonna survive so far. Pass back on the way though, scanned by the recon ball.
Na magtatago siya behind that green boxes.
Actually,
the resurrection is ready here for the first order.
That's still a resurrection that's going to be used for this round if ever they do want to, you know, make sure that they get that W. In any case, oh, Kakarot is actually going to be using his lockdown maybe when they have the resurrect activated, but it's going to be weird though because like his opponents can just rotate, and unless they can plug the rotation of the first order, it's not going to make sense to use a defensive lockdown so quickly. Maybe they're going to wait first for the spike to get planted down, but Kakarot just says, yeah, let's go for it. They're going to go for a quick flank here, and Atlas has to go and rush right in. They have to back away, but they do have a nice little corner at the back of yellow just to make sure. Lockdown will be destroyed though. That's not leaving a lot of options for Atlas to make work.
Oh, gun though for Kakarot, and he gets a 3K so far. Thing is though, TFO, their hand has been forced, and Broad gets the explosion to Marky. 4 kills in a row for Kakarot. It's come on in, little babies. Come on into this lockdown. This is Kakarot's web of lies. And with a 4K like that, and what? 20 kills on Kakarot. This has just been a hard carry and more from the Killjoy and the defense. SE Atlas might be giving him some praises after this game.
Kakarot is... Was he one of the newer pickups for SE Atlas? I believe they had like...
I mean, he's always just been there. He really... He had different aliases for most of the run, but really here in the VALORANT Challenge Philippines, he's brought back that Kakarot name, and this is the Kakarot form that we expected as soon as he went into the VALORANT scene. You know, 4-5 anyone, but here we go, Bright right now, catching out Marky there. Good start here for SE Atlas yet again, and sometimes when you see one of your teammates really popping off like that, you get that inspiration. A stolen round there by SE Atlas. You'd really have to see how smart they played that one, especially as the wall was forced out from TFO a while ago, and Kakarot just not stopping whatsoever. Zerb gonna be going on down. Kakarot absolutely cracked there. Gets the second courtesy though now. Changing the sides and getting that kill. But things are in the favor of FC Atlas, and Yoshi, the eye on the sky, trick spotted from the top-down view, and a perfect angle now for Atlas to flank.
Big flank coming in from Dre. If you can see, he is already at the attacker's spawn, and they cannot really just pierce through the side. There's too few members of the First Order taken out away from this particular round. Last round of the first half as well, so they just kind of stabilize this into a 6-6 if they can, or sorry, 7-5 if they can for TFO. And Trix, he's still at full HP here. He can make something happen, and Courtesy activating it already. Still will get the charge through, but not going to be able to pierce. And Trix just falls down. Courtesy still there on the top side, but it's going to be the Soba versus Soba, and Yoshi showing that he is the more potent of you two.
This is why Yoshi jumps a lot. He knows he can platform into the middle. He avoids the bullets of all things. And it really goes to show that we are just riding the wave of the SE Atlas as well as the First Order coming into this game. The scoreline is so even as a ride. Not only is it 6-6, it's a 4-round streak, to a 4-round streak, to a 2-round streak, to a 2-round streak. Overall, we've seen Atlas figure out how to actually answer back against TFO, and TFO is eventually able to bring something new to the table. And again, Atlas with Kakarot really popping like crazy, getting the clutch factor on. It'll be interesting to see how he's going to be playing the Killjoy now on the attacking side, but look at this replay here from Kakarot. He finds Zerb, sees the pipes. You don't usually see that angle, honestly, as a defender, but Kakarot doesn't care. 1 pixel is all he needs. Atlas right now just cleaning up house. Yoshi even parkouring his way to victory. And by this point in time, Atlas, if they feel like they can get heads like that, they might have the better angles coming into their attacking side.
It's, how to say this, it's kind of like a hit or miss. If you have somebody that's top fragging as Kakarot's like 20 kills, right? What happens if he gets shut down multiple times and the others won't be able to like follow up? Again, that's just like, you know, theoretical stuff for SE Atlas here, but that's a definite, you know, cause for concern, because it seems like a lot of their members are not able to find the kills that they need during the defending side. But like you said, different dynamic now as we do swap here, and it's going to be Atlas to try to go for that attack. I'm curious to see if they're going to have the same setups that the First Order had, because the only difference with their composition is the duelist that they were able to use. I do like that Bry is here. He's going to be able to flush the sites a little bit better with his team compared to the Jet that was on TFO. So maybe, just maybe, that's the thing that they need to kind of be able to break into the sites, you know?
I mean, we can look at it as in a bit of a head-to-head. The Jet, I think, would be better for the attacking side. The Raze for the defensive, because it's a lot smoother with the Jet's movement. But then again, you can dive with that Raze, use the blast packs to get up top where you need to be, and it'll be interesting to see how these two duelists will have some value as now they are on the opposite sides. But it's really just all about the Sage supporting them, maybe some combos with the slow orb and the pain shell that we see here from SE Atlas. I really feel like, though, that Atlas wanted a few more points on their defensive coming into this one, because you have that Raze, right? And we saw their plan was to combo the slow orb and the pain shells together, and then shock darts and maybe the nano swarm on the other side to make it such a labyrinth for TFO to actually push on into A side. But then TFO just take the right angles. They know the way. It's like you have a maze and you know the answer. There's a secret door, you just push on in, and that was the case for TFO. But hey, we're in a technical pause on Icebox. So is it part 3 right now of our Penguin saga? We've been talking about it. What's the new story time right now? What are these Penguins up to? Why are they back on Icebox, Asarai?
Maybe they got hired again to do another mission in the Icebox map. You can see already that the Penguins are kind of saying secret agent stuff, you know. Like they're from Madagascar.
They like to move it.
Yeah, they like to move it. Skipper's right there. Private is right there.
What are the names of the Penguins?
Rico, I'm saying it.
Kowalski.
Kowalski, there you go.
That's the one I remember because it's a long name. I remember last time when we talked about this, it was because they were like trying to steal the Yoru mask or something. But now we have Astra, but she's all the way up there in heaven, basically. Astral form. I do want to see Astra, though. Unfortunately, we don't have it right now, guys. We are playing on the patch, though, that is post the Stinger and the Frenzy nerf. So that's why you see a bit of different buys right now compared to last week. But then again, Astra going to be very interesting for stage number 2 this month for VALORANT challengers all across the world and more. In the case now, TFO. What's the plan here for TFO? What is going to be the setup? Technical pause, though, is still in the back. Right.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, you know, you were talking about like the Astra and everything. Have you seen the tier 48 already for this battle pass? It seems like the new agent is like, because the card for tier 48 shows like a cargo ship. So I'm thinking the next agent is not going to be a Radiant Knight powered one, or Radiant powered, because like the last 3 that we have was Astra, Yoru, and Sky, which are all Radiant powered. And now I'm thinking like it's along the lines of like another Brim that's not, you know, enhanced.
He's a normal person.
A normie.
A normie. Hey, it's the Snowman and the Penguins. I know there is also one more thing that kind of is interesting. I wonder what the next map will be. Oh, also, you know, we got some representation in the Battle Pass. Did you know that? The Revive Me Jet Spray. It's there. We have been embraced by Riot Games. But you know what we have always embraced as a Filipino scene, guys? Technical pauses. It always happens. Don't worry about it. No matter where you're playing from, it just happens. And patience is something we have been accustomed to by this point. And especially a game like this, it's all tied up. It's really, really close. And the answers between Atlas and TFO have been interesting because they found ways to kind of screw each other over. They found ways to make their plays work. They found ways to get resurrections out of nowhere. They found ways to deny it. And it does feel like between Atlas and TFO is doing that first move. They know the stratagems for a map like this. But in Atlas, they just know what to do to answer back. Not necessarily for the map. They have their own kind of plays, but they adjust accordingly to what TFO does. And it'll be interesting now if TFO can do the same as Atlas is on the attacking side.
You basically just said contrasting things about these two teams. Like, I mean by that is like TFO, they're the team that has all the set plays in the world. And Atlas is the one that kind of just adjusts to these kind of plays. And you saw that dynamic, you know, 6-6 here, where those 4 straight rounds that TFO won were all set plays, and it took at least 4 rounds for Atlas to figure out what they had to do, but they also took 4 rounds straight, which is interesting. And it just goes to show that there's a lot of teams with a lot of identities and a lot of different understandings of how to play this game. Really, really interesting, really, really entertaining. It just kind of makes you think, who do I want to support? Is it somebody who has the, you know, the playbook in your hand, or is it somebody just big brains everything, tries to understand on the fly, on the go? I mean, pick your poison, man. It's right here.
Yeah, and you can even make a case that they can do the same on the other side. Like Atlas, these guys have studied multiple maps. We've seen it in week number 1. We see it right now, that they have an understanding on what to do. TFO, in the meantime, if Icebox is really their baby, if they have been born and raised in this freezer, then it might be time to show it now. Because here we go, guys. It's time for the second half. We do apologize a bit for those technical pauses, but it is time for us to enjoy the action yet again. So we're going to be defending there by B-Side, playing the green lane. Interesting enough, Coco and Zerv, I believe, going to be working together there. But Kakarot, he is just unstoppable here as the right mark. He cannot challenge, and Kakarot gets the first blood on the board.
Sometimes this is why you kind of want to see a Jet as well on the defender side. Yes, Marky did go down, but the play that he just did to push up into Belt all the way from his own A side as a defender is really, really strong because it allows you to not go to the more dangerous A main, which is basically just a, you know, like a kill avenue. And in case Yoshi's going to be using his Sova drone here, going to be forcing the Zerv to back away here. And he's going to go for the Zerv rush. Just be careful because the Boombot is right there to spot him out. There is a little bit of an opening here, and he's going to try to challenge the corner. Maybe he wants to go on top of the ropes here, but if he goes, he's basically turned into a human or an Omen Pinata. Rest of TFO will be going for the retake as the spike is planted down, but this is going to be a 4v5 Dax. Numbers in the advantage of Atlas.
Not only that, time is ticking, and stopwatch is the way to go here for Team Atlas. Zervo with a dark cover. Good scan down by TFO. Paranoia gonna be in play, and Zerv apparently he is gonna get bursted, but no candy comes out of that omen whatsoever. Tricks in the meantime with kill on the Kakarot. 4v2 situation. Tricks now dropping on down, and Courtesy trying to use that turret for cover, but it doesn't work out. Dre instead with the Sheriff in hand has been a bit more popular nowadays in these pistol rounds, and it does make quick work of Team TFO.
True that. You saw that there was one kind of like double push that Trix and Courtesy did, dropping down from the top of the B site, and I think that kind of reduced the damage that came out from Trix by like 2 to 3 bullets, and that was enough for, you know, SE Atlas to just get the refrags that they needed to basically win out that round. That was pretty, I think, mistimed for TFO, but what you're gonna do, sometimes it just happens. It happens. Anyways, Yoshi and the rest of his team will be going for the A site, immediately rushing on through, and Dre has the high ground, using himself with that Sheriff. But again, they're gonna go for the safe plays here. This is why Sova is so crucial in the Icebox, because there's so many big angles. You could just have to need to use that Sova drone. Woo!
Tricks. He had a Bucky, and he got blown up to bits, and he got shocked for good measure. All about that AoE damage, and all about Atlas right now pushing forward yet again. Marquito tried to dash on in, but you cannot dash, you cannot headbutt anyone, and it's Atlas instead getting to there. Bry even chipping away against the Sova, but surprise, surprise, there we have it. That's going to be the shorty there. Yoshido in the meantime with a kill on the Courtesy, and Zerv cannot stand the test of SE Atlas. 2 rounds in a row, Atlas in control.
Well, this round, or that round, was a bonus. No real firepower to come out from the first order, but you are seeing that Atlas still give respect to their opponents. They're going to make sure that no corners will be devastating for Atlas there, because you know, we've seen it with one of the highlights from Archangel where Modski was on that corner. I call that like the walkulator. I call it the walkulator, but it's not. It's the treadmill.
One? The one on by Bell? Or
the under rafters.
Oh.
Yeah, the one that got changed during the Icebox renovation. Any case.
I like that you have a name for it, but you know, I think about the conveyor belt that we're always on during pause
that's
time.
Fun, though,
yeah, it's somewhere in the map, but you know, the Aldron can be saying hello to how many members of SE Atlas, and sometimes that's like the best value you get. You bring a drone and you're just sightseeing and you see how many people, 4 or 5 people, you get intel value, and then your team's like, good job, Sova, you did a great job there. I'm playing a lot of Sova actually in the ladder, and those are the best kinds of intel that you can get. But anyway, guys, not about us, it's about these teams. And Trix, I like the angle, but he couldn't get the peek up top of Belt. SE Atlas now pushing forward, and the Killjoy must be ready for this onslaught.
Trix goes down. Basically, all the utility that he had here will be deactivated, and that just means that it's going to be a quick take by SE Atlas. That Nanoswarm will force him out. He's not going to be able to push through this. That only lasted for a couple of seconds. The Paranoia will be coming out, and that was beautiful. The follow from Bry as well, and the Shock Darts just to make sure, but Courtesy of his own. 4v4, and here comes the retake. The first order, they want to push right in. Bry has the corner here, but they still have plenty of time. Recon Dart will also be expended just for that information gathering, and Marky spots one.
And there we go with the trade of kills. But this is why we've been hyping up those Sovas. Kakarot and Marky now on the board each, and it will just be the Sova versus Sova and the Jet and the Omen facing off. Marky though with the 3K so far. Dre now playing the repel, and up top he will fall. Courtesy not only having the angles with the Shock Dart, he has the angle in the middle. Look at how much HP TFO has though, Azurai. They got out of that one by the skin of their teeth.
And by the rockiness of how Dre approached that particular fight, if he maybe have just dropped down rather than go up on top, he might have been able to at least just get the 1 kill on the Jet, the follow-up on Courtesy. And like you said, they were pretty low, so it could have been possible, but that one split decision was...
You know what I gotta say, Azurai, wrong game. Wrong game. And just so many games you can just keep running on around and actually get those kills. But this is a tactical shooter, guys. And don't forget, there are things like reverse strafing, there are things about stabilizing that aim, controlling that recall. And we all know that these players know how to do that. But every little bit of altitude in a map like this, in any map actually, can really hurt you. Any kind of drop down and then you're fighting someone, you're gonna be like, oh, I wish I didn't jump, I wish I didn't drop down for this, I wish it was a lot shorter of a drop so I could stabilize my aim, and that is case in point for many coming into this game. But Yoshi right now scanning around. Aldrone will say hello. Good one way though by the side of TFO, I believe. It will just be them trying to peek this with the Blade Storm, as TFO now will be looking to get value out of this ultimate.
You haven't still were able to get that value that you're talking about. They do know that Marky is already here, and one quick play might be just the damage for him, but Sir follows up. That is a nice little amount of crossfire there, back to back, and the first order finds the first victim. This is going to be a push in here, a commitment to Atlas to the B site. But Trey is slowly peeking out. He spots out the one. He's chasing him aggressively. Maybe wanted to go for that quick flash play, but just repositions on top of Belt. He knows that Trix is going to be on this weaker weapon, so he wants to use that vandal of him to just have the better option. Marky almost takes on the head of Dre there. They have 24 seconds, and now that they know that there is going to be the Killjoy and the Jet on A, B might be the site, but still, Dre, or rather, Sir is here, and Kakarot, beautiful timing on this man.
And this is going to allow B site to be taken here by the side of SE Atlas at the nick of time. Kakarot able to infiltrate. Apparently, it will be Kakarot, the Master Chef, in this matchup. So we'll see right now if TFO can figure something out. They don't have the smokes anymore on their side, except the Cloudburst if need be. They're pushing on forward though, trying to play it close to the double box. Coco right now with the slow orbs, and Dre and be going for the Come to Shadows to reinforce his team and more. Paranoid now lined up, ready to go. Trix though sticking it till the sun don't shine. No, halfway is the marker. Can we see Courtesy though? Gets to so far. The Sova right now finding the angle, and Kakarot will catch out Trix. It's all about target prioritization, and Kakarot does get 3, but no, the spike has been defused by TFO. And we're all tied up again. Another mirror image, because it's a 2-round streak met by a 2-round streak.
They didn't break the wall quickly enough. I think that's one of the main reasons why it was just such a difficult retake for SE Atlas. Well, not really a retake, but rather defend on that post plant, to be more specific. Yeah, there's going to be the final stand for Kakarot here, but name of the game definitely was retake for the first order. That was a nice little rotation from Atlas at the end when it was around taking 15 seconds. He even found Zerb, but in the end, the first order knew that they had enough time to aggress towards their opponent. They had the utilities as well. I really do like that the Sages here now in our match save the wall rather than use it somewhere like Kitchen, because teams now play so slow that the Sage wall just gets kind of diminished if you use it so early in the round.
Exactly, because it just dissipates. The wall apparently was not built to last. But you know what has been lasting into the meta stage? It really has become a popular pick, if I remember correctly, for in the EU region. And we're seeing it here right now in the SEA side. But Yoshi with that shock dart and Fry using that share to take care of Marky. Marky, though, has already taken care of business and got rid of the Sage. And here comes Courtesy now looking to line it up. Frequent Bolt now getting that intel. But can he get the shots to actually connect? Does get the chip, though, onto the Raze. Low HP right now. Showstopper's the way to go instead for Bry, and he's waiting for someone to come, avoiding the shots as much as possible. Blast back up top. He wants to go after the Rafters, and timing is everything. There we go with a shot, and oh my god, Courtesy! Since he chipped away from Bry a while ago, no more HP to drop down from the generator.
He's too high. It's just way too high. Now this 3 versus 3 is not going to look too good. Courtesy got the heal already from his teammate, and it's going to be left into the hands of Yoshi and Kakarot, the two most impactful members of Atlas, but they're low. They don't have the angles at all, and he's sticking to plan. Gets a shutdown already, but that is already down to half. Yoshi has to run to his life here if he can try to make it happen. No, it's not, and that is just going to be another TFO clutch. I thought it was already in the half of the spike, but still, even then, no time was had for Yoshi to be able to push that victory for Atlas.
TFO said, okay, gotta tell you something, Coco. You have to sacrifice your life for the cause. It's okay that you're at the bottom of the scoreboard right now. We know what you did. We know your value in this team, and your job now is to die. And it really goes to show also when you're facing off against a Hunter's Fury, you just figure out the distance of where that beam is coming from. You now know the angle of the Sova, and a 3v1 situation like that, you can afford to throw a body at the spike. So TFO now taking the lead back, and it seems like we are going to get into a pause again. Bit of technical issues today, though. Hopefully everything is a-okay for all of our players, because remember last week there were a few ping issues at certain provinces of the Philippines.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we all know that Atlas is not actually a metro-based team. They are all the way in the Davao side. They all try to, you know, represent outside the Metro Manila region, and they have been a top team despite their distance from everyone else. It's online anyway, so it's all a-okay. 3 ultimates now available here for TFO, though momentum is in their favor, but Atlas, they should have a bye right now, because I believe that last round was a pretty good eco round for them.
True. Very, very true. And again, just back and forth. I love seeing this kind of games because it shows to us how far the teams have really come and how far they're willing to just push their limits. You know, and just the way we were saying about Atlas as well, definitely a big fan here, and I cannot wait to have our first LAN tournament, if ever, in the future, you know. And if COVID dies down, if you get the vaccine and it's looking, you know, uphill and whatnot, I hope so. Because honestly, I do miss the events, man. Like, you know, no cap, I just really want to see these players in action live because it's just a different atmosphere. I know viewers out there, we appreciate you guys, but sometimes it's just the, you know, the thrill
The
of just
energy.
energy, exactly. Just to watch it live is just, it's just different.
Yeah, I mean, my only source of energy besides myself would just be Asarai here. We're in the studio right now. We're like, Asarai, keep me up. The game's keeping me up. You know, these mountains are looking amazing, but we do miss just being able to say hello to everyone and anyone in the esports team. But hey, TFO, they're happy right now in their spot. They have that 1-round lead. Goes to show, though, that Atlas really is a contender here. This is something that TFO could call their home base as a map, and Atlas is matching them round per round. This game can go either way. This game can really go in favor of Atlas. This game can really go in favor of TFO. And no matter what, these two teams have proven to be warriors into the playoffs. This is only the first matchup of the playoffs, Asarai. So it really goes to show that without Brand Esports, everyone can win.
It's kind of a thing to talk about that, right? We can't really push that big fact, that big information off to the side here. Is that without Bren, these teams have a legitimate shot at each other to be able to win this. I think like there might be just slight level discrepancies, like, you know, some teams might be slightly stronger than the other, but it's very close that honestly any of these teams can definitely take the crown and be that second team to represent us for the upcoming Masters, which is, I think, happening March 11 to 21, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's going to happen this month, but we'll get confirmation on that because we have confirmed that we are back in action. And here we go yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Back into the game, back into the fight. Atlas now looking to go into a site, but someone is waiting, and their name is the Killjoy Kakarot. Trying to go for a little bit of the lurk though in the middle, catches out Marky, and really the punishment here from Kakarot against Marky has been one of the biggest game changers here for the side of SE Atlas. But now the slow orb comes, Tim trying to at least slow down whatever offensive comes, whatever defensive rather comes from the high ground, and Yoshi says, okay, plant this one down, reinforce, and Atlas is ready to go for post plant again.
Kakarot's gotta be careful because if he holds that kind of Vanguard positioning, his utilities is gonna be all for naught, but damn, he's just gonna challenge every single one that goes up to the plate. 1, 2, and 3. Drix is no more. He knows he spots him out, whips out the classic, not gonna be able to win out that duel, but he's done the damage by himself. Everybody from Atlas just dissipates to try to go for that post plant and leaves it into the hands of Courtesy, who is down to 20 HP, and Dre comes up from up above and rains justice down below. It's just too much for him to handle, and Atlas with a relatively quick and clean take onto that A site.
A bit uncharacteristic there from TFO. Almost no impact whatsoever in terms of stopping that take. And when you let Atlas position like that, they know the angles, they know how to really bombard that spike. And from what we've seen on their defensive, it really feels like they know that A side a bit more than the B side in terms of performance. So Atlas, if they can keep up with the pressure, they can keep it up on A, then it might be a good chance for them. TFO in the meantime, it's all about making the impact happen again, and it really will be Trix trying to play the offensive, going for the other nest, but it doesn't happen. Right with the punish. Atlas right now saying goodbye to the Killjoy, and an easy time now scouting on the round. This is going to be an easy take for SE Atlas unless TFO figures out the shots and figure out the angle, and Marky, the Blade Storm from behind. Kakarot now going to go down in their 1v1, but Yoshi doesn't care about that. He's planting the spike down.
And immediately you see Dre wanting to challenge Marky if he charges right up to A main. Postman will be had here by Atlas. Losing Kakarot though might be something because he was one charge away from having his lockdown that could be used here for the Postman to delay TFO even further. But it shouldn't matter right now because there's so much bodies. They're just that really good Postman positioning. And even though there is going to be the wall used by Coco, in the end, Rifles beat wall. That's just how it is. Marky comes in from the side here, could deal some substantial damage as he whips out the blades, but the blades miss. And like you said, Dax, before, you cannot win a gunfight with just knives or arrows.
Sometimes you gotta go up on the tech and you gotta go up on the arsenal, and TFO now gonna be able to get the buys they need. 2 rounds free though for the side of SE Atlas after TFO got a 3-round streak a while ago. Seems like that we have seen consistently that Atlas is able to put that spike down, and TFO has been playing it retake time and time again. But if Atlas is just able to manhandle their way onto a site, destroy the defenders, then who will be able to retake later on? No one. And that has been the defining factor of the past few rounds because of it.
It's been very risky, I think, for TFO to get this challenge, because I think right now Atlas have optimized how they take the site by supplementing their pushes with consecutive throws of utility. You saw the nades come out from Bri, you saw the shock darts come out from Yoshi, and it's more so than not connected in translated into kills, which is really good. Now, because Kakarot is alive and he has his ultimate, they get themselves a freebie with that lockdown and the spike planted down. Now, there is going to be a nice little flank here from Zerg, but he's going to be in 2 versus 1, and he's going to be able to get Yoshi, though. That's a big one, because Yoshi does have the shock darts and the recon dart for that post plan. Maybe some more damage here, but Tim revives his comrade. Kakarot is going to be here as the Vanguard first, but here we go. It's the retake, and it seems... I don't know what that wall was for, but anyways, Courtesy, come here.
Interesting wall, but here we go with Courtesy. Coco and Marky on the board. Beautiful one-way with the Cloud Burst, and now it's Tim all alone. It does blockade a bit of that spike, but at the same time, Marky uses that distraction to come close and get the take. 10-10 right now. This game refuses to budge an inch whatsoever. That from the shadows there from TFO to say, this is my spawn now. Zerv wanted to go for the angle, got rid of Yoshi, forced out the resurrection there from SE Atlas. But in the meantime, Atlas does get rid of the Omen, but without that front line reinforced because of what the Omen did, we lost people in the front, and TFO came on in with their claws, with their guns, and swang away to get those takedowns.
Totally agree. They just capitalized on not having enough bodies to play for that post plan, and they just charged right in. I thought that the wall from Coco was questionable, but now that you look at it, he had to break like 3 segments to actually kill the diffuser.
If you stay on the left, it does blockade you, but there's still a good angle for the post-plant attackers. But then again, you know, it worked. It worked eventually. I do want to budget maybe an inch or 2 a little more to the right at the end of that, but we all know how hard it is to actually hit those walls of pressure, and you know that shot from Dre is just so nasty. Trix cannot stand up against SE Atlas. Same for Marky. Kakarot will just impose his will again, and it's over 9,000 right now here for SE Atlas because they are going to be putting the spike down where it belongs. A site yet again.
I think Atlas has just kind of sniffed at these first encounter positions, the power points of the map aren't really crossfired properly by TFO. And you saw that nobody was going to be there to get a kill back for Trix. Nobody was there to get a kill back for Marky. And Atlas basically get themselves a free round with a little bit of grit and just timing.
Now TFO gonna go for the save, and it is a big lesson of crossfire gameplay here. Thing is about Icebox is these angles make you do the 1v1, since it's really on the defensive side. If you play the aggression, sure, you can get in the face of the opposition, but when you're just holding close, then oh my god, Coco actually catching out Bride there in the end. But back to my point, when you're just holding close like that, then sometimes, okay, there's the angle, there's the attacking side, they find the target, and in all honesty, there's also one simple reason why Atlas got another quick take, is they won those. TFO has been challenging against Atlas, and when we see TFO actually get the kills, it does hurt Atlas and their plans. They have to go to the back line, they have to go for the res, they have to figure out what to really do. But when Kakarot wins, when they actually get rid of the killjoy of TFO, then A is theirs for the taking. And now TFO, they have to decide what's the plan here. They need to reinforce, and they need to adjust their playstyle if they want to actually get these rounds.
Basically, it seems like if you lose one of your members, you're such at a big disadvantage because you lose that little bit of utility that's so important for you to get that one up. But look at this, that sneaky little positioning from Marky. Is he really going to go for this updraft follow-up? That's going to be risky though, but risky wasn't even in the name for him as he finds Yoshi unprotected, nobody to help him out. And now, this is what we're talking about. Losing one, in terms of utility, really lowers the capability of a team to really either defend or attack. And that repositioning from Serve, beautiful. He even has a paranoia to boot.
Teleport to get that takedown. But look back at Marky's kill a while ago. It really goes to show that Atlas is expecting Marky to do something, but more in a direct manner rather than something like that. It was so indirect there from Marky. He hid on the other side of the gate that doesn't open, and as is a Sova for free, getting taken down. Seems like Yoshi just unable to check that corner at the right time. And you don't see his fight too often through the screen there, but Brian and Serve now get one apiece. It's still TFO with the advantage, but
30
Atlas
seconds left.
might be able to plant the default on B site.
It's a 2v4.
There's
gonna be nigh to impossible unless he goes for a from the shadows play, but TFO knows about this. Like, Marky's already there. The wallbang's gonna be pushing through. Trix even finds Kakarot. This is really, really bad. And Draze is gonna run for dear life. He does reposition immediately outside onto yellow, but he's not gonna be able to get the one. And Zerb finds him in the end. Triple kill for the other Omen. And the first order, like you said, don't want to budge. No 2-round advantage for any of these two teams. And we're 11 to 11. It seems like it's a sale.
And, you know, sometimes you just gotta look at the critics and be like, it's delicious. And Zerv is just able to give us a meal yet again. A triple kill for him. 20 takedowns for that Omen. 21 actually here for Marky. Really good step up here from TFO. But look at Kakarot. 33. This has been the most low-key 33 kills I've seen in the whole Valorant Challenge Philippines so far. Usually when you get a 30 bomb like this, it's just like the highlight play. But no, Kakarot, he just is able to add up a 1, add up a 2. It's like saving in the back end more. You're able to get a big buffer in the end. But then again, with TFO, they find Kakarot. It does make their life a lot easier coming into this game. Now there we go with the Nest Siege. Marky on the high ground, trying to change it up. Atlas, though, should be a lot more paranoid about things. Tim finds Marky there. And this is now Atlas with the advantage. Oh my god, so close for Coco. Getting spotted out. Coco, though, will kill Kakarot instead. Here comes the showstopper. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. And it is going to be a trade of ultimates between two sides. Courtesy, though, looking for the lineup and tags the stage at the last moment as Tim will put the spike down.
That was very questionable for Marky to try to check out Belt there when he knew that Coco was gonna hold his angle on Belt. He should have just kept eyes on A main, and that would have been better for him because he wasn't expecting that. In any case, though, it's gonna be a 4 versus 4. There is a revive for TFO, but I don't think they can revive safely as it is in the edge of where Atlas is. Now Yoshi is alive. This is gonna be huge, but Serve is on the big flank. He's creeping, but
Yoshi's got it. He knows what to do. 2-for-2 trade, though, coming into this one. And Atlas, of course, is ready with the Hunter Fury. Thing is, though, that we have one more member still alive here for Atlas. And there's the tag. There we go with a hit onto the Sage's corpse instead. And TFO, can they steal his round away? No, it's not going to make it. And they have to run on away. The Sova will still get caught. Courtesy will fall in action. And Yoshi, not only the lone survivor, but the one to just keep that spike down in place.
Spider sense tingling.
He just knows. It's like he's playing both Cypher and Sova at the same time. He's just keeping an eye. It really is just the pings helping him out, locking that one down. And Atlas is on match point. You gotta keep an eye out on how Yoshi plays this out, though. Not only does he know where the spike is, but he did use that small hang time with the jump to actually peek a little bit more and then get the shot. Goes to show those little bits of nuance that can help you out really being exploited here, being maximized by our players. And Atlas now, they're hungry for a map win as this is their match point.
100% agree. Thing about that is wasn't able to check if TFO was able to buy, but if you could just check at the top of your screens here, ladies and gentlemen, Dak as well, 3 ultimates are up for TFO. It's going to be great for retake. It's going to be great for that repositioning. Trix is going to be at least informed that there's a couple of the members already here in mid. He's not going to charge this one out because it's pretty much suicidal, but he can hear the footsteps on A main, and all eyes are directed onto the site. Now, members of TFO will be activating lockdown for a lockdown. Its defender and attacker are And are they really going to commit for this side? Not enough time to plant down that spike before you get detained, and it's just going to be a really aggressive take, and it's going to be risky.
No. Oh, 2 detained here, and Kakarot gonna get spotted out by Courtesy. A little bit of an instance that SE Atlas just caught napping there. And gotta give it to TFO. They answered back with their own Venn diagram, and it was enough to get rid of the top frag of Atlas. Not only that, that corpse way too deep in enemy lines. Atlas forced to go to B site without their Killjoy.
Yeah, or at least both lockdowns have been used, so it's slightly going to be better, but look at the positioning and weapon for Marky. He has an operator in hand, and if he can miss, or if he can connect that first shot, that would have been really devastating, but it's just going to force him to come in. Zerb has to go for the reload, and Tim doesn't second guess himself, although he will get second guessed as Zerb comes in with a reloaded Vandal, comes in from Bri with the big flankies. He does leave it, does go down, and leaves all into the hands of Yoshi, but you know Yoshi can hit these shots. He has the recon dart, but he does not have the position. He has to try to deal with tricks, and we go to overtime.
Toasty Yoshi there getting 2, but he is toast in the end. And we have been serving up a delicious, delicious matchup between TFO and Atlas. Regulation ends, and overtime is upon us. Really goes to show, though, Asteroid, TFO, this is their best map. From what they've said, all their scrim practice and more, they have been very, very happy to bring out the Icebox here in the playoffs. In the meantime, SE Atlas, they say, we're back. It's time for us to win. And they are just really trying to steal home court away from TFO. Both sides knowing what to do on Icebox. Both sides knowing what to do in these matchups. And both sides bringing their all and more, changing it up time and time again. But the angles being taken there by Zerb. Able to push, able to play the ring around against that Sage. And eventually the Sova of SE Atlas did fall in battle. Atlas now defending first. TFO going to be attacking. Overtime, Mr. Asteroid, 2 rounds in a row is needed to win out the game.
This play that Tim and Bri keep doing, it's nice and all, but they only really kind of waste their time there, because unless TFO straight up go for that initial peak early in the round, it's not really going to do any damage. But I do like that because of that, let's say noisy play, that allows Dre to sneak his way in up to the back of mid, but there is a turret that will spot him out. So it's either he smokes that and nobody notices from TFO and he can go for the big flanks, but you can see already that Courtesy is aware.
Courtesy, he knows those. He is just gonna be giving Atlas a bit of that courtesy to actually, reposition just a little bit. Kokodo in the meantime trying to set up that wall, but Atlas, they already know how that thing is gonna come, and they break down that one segment. Timdo has fallen on the side of Atlas. I love the darts yet again from Yoshi, but Courtesy is waiting in behind, and Dre gonna be looking at the garage, but the shots don't connect, and Dre will be able to get that takedown. 4v4 right now. TFO second guessing, will they go here to B side, as Atlas is awaiting their push.
They do have time to rotate, but the thing about that is because Courtesy did die in the back of them, they might be feeling pressured not to be able to go for that retake, and they used all their utilities already, so it's go for broke on B or basically go away. Bri is so near this corner, he's going to be able to spot so many of them and just backs away. He knows that he doesn't have to force it out because they have the timing, they have the crossfire as well, and if they try to go for this force plant, it's going to be really, really tricky, but Marky comes out, spots out the one versus 2, Zerb is very low, and it leaves into the hands of Dre. Dre, he's gonna slow push it ever so quickly, has the Phantom in hand, knows, checks the corner first, he hears that the blades is coming out, and he's gotta be careful about this one.
And there we have it. We got Dre right now throwing out the dark covers and more. We'll see what this TP can really do. High ground now being taken, and Marky caught unaware from above. Here we go, with a drop down, and that's the wrong angle there for Dre. Zerb again. We've been making all about these meal puns, but this has just been an absolute treat from these two teams. But look at Zerb. He's always at the right place at the right time. Such a great angle there for the side of TFO to take that win.
Revenge is a dish served hot or cold. I messed that up. Anyways, it seems like he was able to get that clutch. Definitely is deserved. Oh, wow.
You did
nope,
it.
No pun intended.
You did it this time, naturally.
25 kills.
I'll give you that one, because that's actually very natural for you. I'll give you points, man.
Yeah, we got it. We got that one, guys. Anyways, back to the brass tacks. 25 kills on this Omen from TFO. Really...
Yeah, it really goes to show that here for the side of TFO, angles are the answer. And when you have a player like that, that knows where to go, that knows where to set on up, it really is a byproduct of how much experience and playtime they've had on a map like this.
Yeah. And again, they just are very that aggressive and dangerous. I thought it was going to be a really straight round for SE Atlas, especially when Dre started up. Even though they lost Tim, yeah, that's a big blow because Tim is basically the big utility for Atlas here. He hasn't shown up in terms of the kills, but his walls and slows really do help them kind of incorporate their retake as well as their takes of the site. We are going to go for a quick tactical pause, take a breather, because again, last round before TFO, the first order, gets that W. Seems like both teams are struggling, but TFO still struggled a little bit less and now have that one up. Dax, I'm not sure how they're going to be able to go about this one.
We'll find out because this is just going to be TFO defending yet again. Atlas, though, in the meantime, have found ways to siege, especially on A side. Will we see a curveball to go over to B instead? Will we see a little bit of a nuance here on the defensive side? And I like the adjustment here from TFO already. We've seen Atlas be masters of on the attack and the defensive. But then again, if you have a problem with a site, but how many people on? 1, 2, 3, and one more in the middle, so around 4 people can quickly rotate if ever. If Atlas can scout this out, though, this might be helpful. Marky, though, gambling it all with the operator, and Tim now is gonna die. No more second chances here for Atlas. Spike is down, and confirmation is a go for TFO.
That was so smooth, very straightforward, and no chance of a refrag, so to speak, because Marky just dashes to a position where the belt people can't. That's weird to say. Belt people won't be able to spot him out, so it's very, very risky. Coco even goes for this nice little off-angle sage boost.
It sounds like a band, the Belt People. Maybe that's my new band. Maybe I'll make one with him. You know, he has a band. He had a band. He's we have so many musicians in the talent pool, but you know, this has just been a pool of action between our two teams, and TFO. Not only do they have that map, they have that round advantage, but they also have the numbers advantage coming into this one. Recon Dart now gonna get thrown on out. Courtesy in the meantime, gonna be able to fight against Dre in the kitchen, but Dre just going through Tube, and he says, this is my playground, this is my jungle gym to go on in. The Killjoy is very, very close, though. Can Dre get the shot? No, Trix is there to get the takedown, and right now TFO try to play the lane here. It's Trix though with a second kill, and there we go with a third from Trix. Brido in the meantime with a 2K, doesn't care about the paranoia, and it's all up to him now, Asarai.
He's got to be careful, the 20 seconds left onto the clock. He should hear the drop down from Marky, and he has time, though. He has time, but there is a slight opening there, and he's just going to charge it up. But when he gets this spike planted down, he will have his ultimate, maybe even use it at all, and Marky just gets obliterated. But Coco, with the timing, with the angle, Bry, just a split second. If he could have just pressed that left click, whipped out his rocket, his showstopper, we would have gone to second overtime. But Coco just, what's the word here? Kept his cool. Best thing, man.
Best thing. The fireworks were cancelled. It was looking to be a double overtime. It was looking to be a clutch there from the Rays. But in the end, it's the first order who takes care of business. They knew they had this map under their belt. And the first order right now taking that 1-0 lead. Atlas, though, in the meantime, they really put up a great fight time and time again. There was always a chance for Atlas to win. There was always a chance, though, for TFO to win as well. And this is just an indicator of what the playoffs is all about this week number 3. Bren is gone. Everyone else is here. And this is